attune to the fire element. Hold your weapon like a bow. Step back into an archer's stance and say the incantation. That's how you cast the Flame Arrow spell. This is the official Cloudbreaker Alliance Spellcasting Guide. In this guide, you can learn about how magic works in the world of Cloudbreaker Alliance and the mechanics of spellcasting. In the Cloudbroken Lands, there are two major schools of magic: Cosmic, with its associated elements Order, Chaos, and Astral, and Arcane, with its associated elements Fire, Water, Wood, Wind, Earth, Metal, Lightning, Toxic, and Ice. The last three of those are advanced arcane elements. Cosmic magic is commonly practiced in Ilum. In this mountainous region, there are plenty of serene peaks that allow their mystics to sense the subtle cosmic forces and harness them with their minds. This school of magic is powerful yet difficult to master. The locals call the study of this phenomenon cosmic science. As for the nature-based arcane magic, it is most commonly used in Feyland, where the land has been painstakingly curated with biomes of all kinds. This school of magic is easier to control. That's why it is possible to practice arcane magic in other regions, such as Sanctum, though to a limited degree. Its true power lies in its versatility. You can access a vast library of spells by combining the right elements. Locals call the application of this school of magic Arcanotech. You can imagine the difference between the two as something similar to physics and chemistry. Theoretically, both operate under the same fundamental scientific concept, but the unified theory of everything that links the two is yet to be discovered. In CBA, research into this unified theory of magic is called Thaumarcanic study. Colloquially, it's called magic, because the general public doesn't quite understand how it works, despite using it daily, just like microwave ovens in our world. Potentially, all player characters can cast spells. They just need to fulfill the various spells casting conditions. Let's use the Meteor spell as an example. Attunement. To cast this spell, the PC needs to be attuned to the fire and earth elements. Since fire and earth are both basic arcane elements, the character needs the arcane attunement feature. Then, 2 attunement slots are needed to attune to fire and earth elements. Classes from the Arcanist discipline get these discipline features at rank 1. Half-caster disciplines, such as Champion and Trickster, can also attune to arcane elements at higher ranks, but they gain attunement slots more slowly. Requirements. Meteor has movement, verbal, and mastered weapon requirements. Movement means that the character needs to be able to move. If the character is grappled and prevented from moving, then this spell can't be cast. Almost all offensive spells have movement requirements, so grappling spellcasters can be a good strategy. Almost all spells have verbal requirements, so if the caster is silenced by a cheap shot maneuver or other spells, then their choice of spells is greatly diminished. The final requirement is mastered weapon. This means that the character may cast spells with any weapons they have mastery in, even daggers, in place of spell catalysts like wands. Daggers provide combat roll bonuses, while spell catalysts can be used to create spell glyphs more efficiently. Each piece of equipment has its own advantages, so it's up to you to choose how you wield them. All spells require the caster to wield at least one mastered weapon. Disarming the caster is a great way to counter normal spellcasters, but some monsters can cast spells without using a mastered weapon. Each spell can be cast at various ranks. Common spells like Meteor, which is on the Table of Elements, can be cast from rank 1 to 3. When the same spell is cast at a higher rank, it has a higher MP cost, and the effect is improved accordingly. At level 1, casters can cast rank 1 spells. To cast spells at rank 2, they need to be at level 5 and above, and for rank 3, they need to be at level 9 and above. Spells of rank 4 and above are considered high spells, which we'll cover later. Having reclassed as a spellweaver and attuned to the appropriate elements, Marla casts the Meteor spell and spends the casting costs, 1 major action, and 24 mind points. Oh, but wait! The Meteor spell has glyph Yes written in the spell block. It means that the caster can reduce the mind point cost with spell glyphs. Each spell glyph reduces the cost by 5, and only a maximum of 3 glyphs can be used to reduce the cost, so 15-point reduction maximum. Spell glyphs are pre-chanted spell formulas that can be used to reduce the mental load of some spells. They can also be spent to reduce the MP damage dealt to the caster. Just like how each barrier token reduces HP damage by 5, each spellglyph token reduces 5 MP damage. Any caster can create spellglyph tokens with their minor action, and wielding spell catalysts may double or even triple the spellglyph tokens created. Characters can choose to enter combat or critical situations with 3 spellglyph tokens. It is assumed that PCs are diligent enough to top up their spellglyphs whenever they have free time. As for the spell range, the range number in the spell block indicates the number of zones. The Meteor spell has a range of 3 zones and is a zone effect spell. It means that it affects all targets inside the targeted zone. At rank 3, this spell has a 5-meter sphere radius. That means that it only affects the targeted zone, and it may damage friendly units too, as indicated by the friendly fire warning. Some other spells have larger zone effects at 10-meter radius sphere, 20-meter radius sphere, or more. At 10 meters, the effect is extended by 1 from the target zone, looking like a cross. At 20 meters, it's extended by 2 zones, looking like a diamond, and so on. One last thing you need to know about spellcasting is that you can only cast 2 spells per turn. But you have another 2-spell limit on other characters' turns, allowing you to cast instant spells when you need it. Here is some additional information on elements. You can only attune to the 6 basic arcane elements, but the advanced arcane elements are automatically attuned if you have the right basic arcane element combination. If you attune to fire, wood, and earth, the minor cycle of the land, you are automatically attuned to toxic. If you attune to water, wind, and metal, the minor cycle of the sky, you are automatically attuned to lightning. By attuning to all 6, the greater arcane cycle, you get ice, the desolation of nature. There are plenty of arcane spells. Remembering them all can be hard, but there are general themes that can help you approximate the effects of the spells. Fire is for damage, water is slippery and helps you get away, wood is related to herbs and heals you, wind spreads effect, earth blocks and reduces damage, metal is for tools and utility. If you combine wood and wind, for example, you get Healing Wind, a spell that heals multiple targets. As for cosmic elements, Order is for mending damage and protecting minds. Chaos does the opposite. It corrupts and dissipates kinetic force. Astral provides a lot of utility with its portal spells. Comic spells can be more powerful than arcane. That's why cosmic elements require 2 spell slots to attune to each of them. Cosmic elements are relatively inert compared to arcane elements. There aren't that many cosmic elemental combinations, but certain cosmic spells can be boosted by arcane elements if the caster is attuned to it. The Blessed Arms spell, for example, can be arcane boosted by the fire element. the caster can double the effect by doubling the cost. Before we end the video, let's take a quick look at high spells. High spells are powerful, high-ranked spells that go beyond rank 3. They can be cast easily in their native region, but in other regions where the precondition of such magic is scarce, the spells need to be charged into a spell catalyst so that it can be cast reliably. The spell charging process can be found on page 172 of the core rulebook. Narratively, the table of arcane and cosmic element spells are part of a hard magic system used to provide a reliable, problem-solving framework for players. High spells, on the other hand, are used to simulate soft magic. There are more spells and wonders out there for the players to discover. The number of high spells is currently quite limited, and game masters are encouraged to create new ones. That's it for the video. If you haven't already owned Cloudbreaker Alliance, you can go buy the game from the links below. Also, subscribe to the channel because we will be releasing more in-depth videos in the future.